that's the initial challenge, for Loomis, is that of trying to figure out a way of making sure that you don't end up in a bad relationship with the last woman on the planet, which would suck, I mean, that would be tricky, and so he's sort of in a mindset of trying to take it slowly, of trying to figure it out, of trying to build a kind of a friendship that could maybe find its way into a relationship, could find its way into a sort of building block. And of course, all of this is blasted out of all of that kind of cerebral thinking is blasted out of the water by the arrival of Captain Kirk,
Leave it to fucking Captain Kirk to ruin everything. Talk about working with Margot on this. This is a silly thing to say, but I was reading a piece about her recently in, I think, Elle magazine or something. Why I was reading Elle magazine, I don't have to justify. But they kept referencing how she never looks her age. She always just looks a couple of years older than the stunning 23 that she is. And this is the first movie where I saw where she looks 23. She looks like a kid lost at a farm and then surrounded by these adult men. I know in the original book she's a teenager, right? In this she's not, but she does look much younger than these men, which adds to the sort of complexity of this relationship, especially for your character, where I feel like it's a bit of a emotional mentorship as well as kind of like having a relationship with her.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he's a scientist. He's he has a very specific skill set, so he's able to kind of guide her in the more technological way of surviving this. She's a very rural girl, and I guess there is something then that is slightly paternalistic about their relationship, and perhaps that's one of the things that slows down the kind of desire to rush into something much more front-footed, much more kind of engaged. And actually, when the arrival of Caleb means that here's a man who doesn't have all this technological kind of sophistication, but what he is incredibly front-footed and capable of really wanting to engage with life and engage with her, and in a way that he's not necessarily thinking about quite as much as Loomis is. And obviously, then that challenges Loomis to do something about it, and obviously they then get into this slightly testosterone-fueled complication.